In this WrestleTalk news, maybe Vince McMahon isn't even selling WWE at all now. What the hell is going on? Vince McMahon is also being sued. What the hell is going on? And Ollie's review of Dynamite.
Support WrestleTalk!
Alright guys, everybody just calm down. I know yesterday was a lot to handle, but let's all just take some deep breaths. Okay, now let's see what's the latest. Vince McMahon might not sell WWE after all. Yeah, that checks out. Yet despite multiple sources such as Bodyslam.net's Cassidy Haynes and DAZN's Stephen Muehlhausen reporting yesterday morning that the WWE and Saudi Public Investment Fund had agreed to a sale of the company, things are now looking much less clear. There were outlets claiming the deal was not a done deal at various points in the day, such as Sean Ross Sapp, Brandon Thurston, Ariel Helwani, and John Alba, the latter of which said the reports were completely false on Twitter. Adding to that was CNBC's David Faber, who revealed that he had been told by many prospective buyers that they are very much unclear on whether Vince will indeed decide to sell the company after all. Now, despite the rampant rumors, WWE also importantly haven't commented on the Saudi rumors publicly, leaving the whole thing very much up in the air to the public at this moment in time. It's important to note, however, that although nothing has been outright announced publicly, doesn't mean that the whole thing is a lie. As Wrestling Observer Radio's Brian Alvarez pointed out on his latest show, do you know that when WCW was sold, there were still people denying that it had been sold after it had been sold? The exact same thing that happened when UFC was sold. He went on to say that just because there are rumors currently, there may still be a deal coming and it may be agreed in principle but with work to do. So basically, we still don't know. Nothing is clear. Except for one bit we do know, Vince is being sued again. Since Vince's return 6 days ago seemingly happened without much pushback in the end, primarily because he brought back George Barrios and Michelle Wilson with him and the people who were against his return resigned or were forced out, it seems his actions may not go without consequence after all, as he now has a class action lawsuit on his hands, precisely about this return to the company. Bloomberg have reported that the suit comes from WWE shareholder Scott A. Fellows, who, according to court documents, is attempting to sue McMahon for the manner in which he returned to the company. The filing states that McMahon violated WWE's charter and breached his fiduciary duty as controlling stockholder with his return to the company as the chairman of WWE's board of directors. The report states that McMahon's return alongside his cronies, George Barrios and Michelle Wilson, was made in order to remove certain directors who opposed him. The three board members that were removed included Joellen Leon Dillon, Jeffrey R. Speed, and Alan M. Wexler, while according to an 8K filing by WWE, another two board members, Manjit Singh and Ignace Lahoud, resigned from the board due to not agreeing with Mr. McMahon's return, Manjit Singh being the primary person who is investigating Vince McMahon from the board's own investigations. According to Bloomberg, neither WWE or Vince have decided to comment on the impending suit, despite being reached out to. The full details on the action being taken on McMahon are available on WrestleTalk.com, so be sure to check them out, as well as any and all updates on the situation going forward, which will also be on the site too.
This video is sponsored by Fishing Clash. Click our link in the description below and use our gift code WrestleTalk to get $20 worth of gifts in the game. Fishing Clash is part fishing simulator, part PvP mobile game, available on iOS and Android. Move aside actual fishing because Fishing Clash removes all the prep time and instantly transports you to fishing all over the world, like on the shore, on a boat, I'm on a boat, and in loads of other cool locations. You can also compete against other players in fish-catching tournaments, form clans, and take part in weekly competitions to develop your fishing skills. Earn upgrades for your rods and lures to help you catch the biggest fish. Not you, Bobby. Where's the line? That is an excellent wrestling fishing pun. And the game is deeper than the Marina Trench. You can get sonar, special traits for leveling up specific rods, licensed bonuses for individual fisheries, and creating your own super faction with clans up to 50 members. Download Fishing Clash by using our link below or by scanning the QR code on screen now and use the gift code WrestleTalk to get power-ups worth $20, which will be a unique avatar, one mythical lore card, 50 luck power-ups, and 30 weight power-ups, which means you can catch bigger fish even quicker. Every download also helps support our channel, so please do at least check it out. Download Fishing Clash and fish that fish. Not you, Bobby. It's Thursday! You know what that means! Well, probably another craziest story of the year, like Triple H leaves WWE, or Walmart buys Vince McMahon, or John Cena signs with New Japan. But also, my review of one of the best cards in AEW Dynamite history. in about 5 minutes. After 2 months of concussion protocol edging, Jon Moxley and Hangman Page opened the show by going right at each other, trying to give each other concussions again. It didn't stop for the whole match. Which body part were you working over there, Adam? The head, Bill. The head! They redid the inside-out lariat that knocked Hangman Page unconscious late last year. They hit each other with open palm strikes in the face. They had a brutal headbutt exchange. It was like both men were trying to hit each other so hard they wouldn't get up ever again, like Moxley had threatened to last week. But after an amazing near fall off a paradigm shift, both men seemingly with nothing left in their heads, just fighting on instinct, Hangman won this excellent match with a buckshot lariat. And, like 90% of Hangman victories, he actually lost a part of himself. Whether it's his battle with alcoholism, his friends, or now his own morality, Hangman had to watch Moxley carried out by a medical team in a kayfabe concussion angle, a mirror image of what happened to him all those months ago. In winning, Page's rage and revenge had cleared, but at what cost? That man has a child too. Will he remember her name come tomorrow morning? Hangman lost himself in the sweet oblivion of vengeance, and now he's sobered up. I doubt he'll be happy with the man he became. All in all, though, it was a good night for people called Adam coming back from concussions. Not my joke, but an observation from Yeehaw Funny on Reddit, because Tony Schiavone said in the ring he takes no pleasure in introducing his next guest. I'd already started to write MJF promo segment in my notes when Adam Cole's entrance music hit. Baby! You could feel the air in the forum tighten. Everyone was so happy to see Cole back. But was this going to be a triumphant, I'm medically cleared announcement, or one of those ones where he says he's being forced to retire? Cole expertly leaned into the audience's fears, setting up that he's got good news and he's got bad news. The good news was that his serious head injuries have made him really appreciate his life, and that our support meant the world to him. It was emotionally raw, and the exact kind of setup wrestlers give when they're about to say they're having to hang up their boots. Which brought us on to Cole's bad news. It's not for him. It's for everyone in the locker room. He's back! He's medically cleared! And this is the day the new Adam Cole arrived, pursuing the top championships. This was an overwhelmingly brilliant segment and another nitro boost to AEW's recent momentum. Cole was definitively set up as a more blue-eyed babyface, which will be intriguing to see, as the closest he's been to that over the last 10 years is Tweener. Hook actually suplexed Big Bill in his and Jungle Boy's victory over the Firm. The wonderful actor Paul Waterhauser, fresh off a Golden Globes win because Golden Globes are a thing again, had a segment with Danhausen, purely because their names sound similar, and then came the second match of the night. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Ronald Coleman, baby! And he can last Sean Fur longer than you in the ring. You too can get your own shout out by going to patreon.com/WrestleTalk. But before Bryan Danielson versus Takeshita could start, MJF came out to do a Don Rickles roast of the LA crowd. He made fun of Takeshita's English skills and the pronunciation of his name, which, just before you get offended, is a morally bad character doing a morally bad thing to highlight how bad that thing is, not justifying it. It's called context. He joked about the celebrities in the LA crowd like Freddie Prinze Jr. and Dr. Ken, and then said if anyone is worried about how long he can last in his potential Iron Man match against Danielson, just ask your mother, or your sister, or your skank girlfriend. He can go all night long. Max's brilliance isn't actually in the content of his promos though. If that's all there was to him, his feuds wouldn't be satisfying and it'd just end up undermining most of the people he was put against. Max's brilliance is his ability to take receipts. Danielson's music interrupted his catchphrase, causing MJF to scurry out of the ring in the most cowardly way possible. And the match itself was terrific, particularly the final third, following a slightly botched running Hurricane Rana to the outside. Heavy strong style strikes, Takeshita hitting a reverse package pile driver, maintaining waist control, and then hitting a German suplex. Takeshita kicking out of Danielson's Basako knee finisher. This was classic Bryan, just like Ethan Page 2 weeks ago, where he made both him and his opponent look incredible. Bryan eventually won, making Takeshita pass out in a submission, but he raised his arm afterwards. This might be one of the most serious losing streaks I've ever seen, having Takeshita lose to really high caliber opponents in incredible matches. It's like the reverse Jade Cargill. When he finally wins, AEW could have something really special on their hands. Speaking of something special, next week we'll see Danielson take on Bandido. Guys, it's only January, I'm running out of stars. Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker then beat Saraya and Not Sasha Banks, Toni Storm in a tag match that, in hindsight, was built up way too long if this was the end plan. It was a very decent match, far better than the Jade Cargill undercard we've been treated to the last few weeks, and it is a joy to see how over Hater is. But it was hampered by the looming Monet presence AEW had accidentally created. I understand why the crowd booed when they realised there wasn't a big surprise, but I'm confused to why Toni Storm looked so unhappy from the moment she came out. The big angle instead was when Shida, who also isn't Sasha Banks, slipped a kendo stick in to help Saraya. Or was it? But Britt used it on Toni to win. Shida looked shocked that that had happened. I don't buy it. The JAS came down in full golden jacketed force for a promo exchange with Ricky Starks and Action Andretti, setting up Starks versus Hager for next week, which had literally just already been announced by Excalibur. This was the weakest thing on the show, and I would have preferred it cut to give the main event more time. Because the final of Death Triangle and the Elite's best of 7 series for the Trios Championships, arguably the greatest run of consecutive matches in wrestling history, only got 15 minutes for the in-ring action. But just like the main event of All In, where the show was running way over time, so they just did 30 minutes worth of moves in a quarter-hour slot, this was non-stop crazy action. 450 splashes off the top rope through a table outside, a package pile driver on a ladder bridge, and the winning move, Kenny Omega's latest edition of hitting a one-winged angel on Rey Fenix off something really high, also off that same ladder bridge. The Elite are your new Trios champions in another amazing match, but for me, it was in the bottom half of their overall series. What did you think of Dynamite? Let me know in the comments. MJF's Celebrity Roasts, 3 excellent matches with the Trios main event Danielson versus Takeshita, and my match of the night, Hangman versus Mox, and an emotional Adam Cole return. This is in the top 5 episodes since I've been doing my new rating system. This week's Dynamite is 94%. Remember to click the link below to download Fishing Clash now, and watch mine and Luke's 3-word predictions for every AEW star in 2023.
Will not return.
Returns in November. Yeah, November. Full gear. As the last person who tries to unseat MJF. Released in November. I'm not saying either of those things are connected.